Ես պատիվ ունեմ ներկայացնելու մեր գլխավոր խոսնակներին. Brett King, աշխարհահռչակ ֆուտուրիստ, բեսթսելեր հեղինակ. Brett, շնորհակալություն թվային տեխնոաշխարհին մեզ բոլորիս ավելի մոտ դարձնելու պատրաստակամության եւ DDF-ին միանալու համար.
He's an expert in innovation, financial services, and the future of business. But above all, he's a futurist. Please give a big round of applause for our keynote speaker, Mr. Brett King.
Every economy in the world is going to be measured by its intelligence. So an economy with artificial intelligence built into it is going to be called a smart economy. What does a smart economy do? It has free healthcare based on artificial intelligence that not only helps its population live longer, but live longer healthier. Within just 10 or 15 years, our life expectancy may be 120 or 130 years based on these technologies. Up to 2 billion people by 2050 will be displaced because of climate change. If you can't increase your population having babies, then how do you increase population? Well, you start importing it. So immigration is going to become highly competitive in the 2030s. There are two types of people in the world today. There are people looking to enhance their career with artificial intelligence. The second type of person, those who are going to be replaced by people using artificial intelligence. That's the game. By the late 2030s, we expect China to surpass the United States as the world's largest economy. Now, when I say this in the United States, they will come up with a million reasons why this will never happen. Because Americans can't think beyond America. China is an AI-ready economy. They have a leadership, they have technology plays, they have regulation and licensing that makes them ready for artificial intelligence in society. The main takeaway really is the fact that the world is changing very rapidly, and that brings with it a lot of challenges, but it also brings opportunity for reflection. As we have higher levels of automation and we have climate change impact us and so forth, we have to decide what are the values we really want at the heart of our economy. What's the purpose of the economy, you know? And I think the key objective is understanding when we have high levels of automation, when we have the impact of climate change, we have to actually become a lot more community focused. That is one of the outcomes of these technological changes. The key message is the opportunity is philosophically to change the priority for the economy, to work for the citizens first and foremost, not for the markets or just economic growth. And that if we want a positive future, if we want the future to be healthy and positive, then we have to work together. I think we saw a brief glimpse of this during the pandemic, because during the pandemic, as we had these shutdowns and people having to be stuck in their homes and so forth, we suddenly had to rely on more digital services, access to telehealth. Our children being able to have their education remotely, and then just even ordering food from restaurants and so forth, it become more digitally focused. But this was just a small glimpse of what 21st century economies are going to be like. If you want the best healthcare, the best education, the best services, you're going to be using the technology layer. You can't use cash to buy these services on this layer. So there's a great quote from William Gibson, the science fiction author. He wrote a book called Count Zero, and in it he talks about the protagonist, and he says something along the lines of this: is the main actor in this book, he had cash money, but he just couldn't use it. It wasn't illegal, you couldn't do anything useful with it. And that's a great way to think about the future of cash. It's probably not going to be illegal, But you think about why it's going to change. Governments don't want you using cash because you're going to avoid taxation. The banking system doesn't like you using cash because of money laundering and the implications of that. Merchants don't want you using cash because it's very expensive to use cash now for businesses. So everyone in the system really wants to get rid of cash, except maybe consumers who want to avoid paying tax or want anonymity. But in that respect, we'll have things like cryptocurrencies and alternative approaches to privacy-based monetary systems, but you won't be able to use cash in the future. It's going to be gone. I'm frustrated. My son, he's 14, he lives in Australia, and he has been told he cannot use ChatGPT to help him with assignments in school, for example. And I think this is a tragedy because, we have this opportunity to train our children to be comfortable and to know how to use these AI tools. And that's the way we should be thinking about education and so forth in the future. So I think that's one of the challenges in terms of the mindset is AI is a tool and we have to embrace that. And that's sort of really where you're going to see economies and businesses and so forth split in the future. And I talk about it, this today in the presentation. There are really two types of people in the world. Those who are looking at AI and how it can help their career, how it can help their family, how it can help their company, and those who will be replaced by AI-led humans in the future. The banks that survive have to play by the new rules, which is they have to be digital or technology first. What is a real bank today? A real bank isn't a bank. It's a technology company. The largest financial institution in the world is not a bank. It's Ant Group, the parent company of Alipay in China. So if your economy is going to be digital first or smart, you have to have AI at the core of government and policy as well. That's the smart world we're moving to. So when we ask, how are you doing? You better be doing digital or you're irrelevant. That's the message. You want to be a part of the world of 2050, the smart world of the future? You have to be doing digital. Banks as we know them today won't exist in the future, because if you look at what banking provides to the economy today and you apply artificial intelligence over the top of that, you very quickly realize that most of what we do in banking today could be automated. So when we look 20 or 30 years out, most of what we think of as banking today is just run on algorithms, and a large portion of our markets will run on an automated fashion as well. The stock market will be highly automated, payments will be highly automated, you'll have your own personal AI that will help you manage your money, for example, and your healthcare as an example as well. So that's sort of the structural changes that happen there, but this requires us to think very differently about regulation as well, because now how do you give a bank a banking license in the future when it's largely technology? How do you assess risk? How do you assess compliance? This is all a technology problem. So even at a functional level, the regulation itself must be more technology focused. So the central bank becomes a technology company or core technology infrastructure for the banking system as well. But I think one of the key messages for today is that the most common form of a bank account in the future is actually not a bank account at all. It's a mobile wallet. And you could even extend that. You could say, well, it's a cloud-based wallet. And you'll talk to your wallet. Your wallet will not just store money, it'll store data, and it will monetize data that you have. It's a very interesting company out of California called Drumwave working on a data wallet right now. Your wallet will store your health data, your genome, your DNA, your blood test results, and all of this, and give you advice on how to live healthier and live longer in real time. So the one big change is that sort of what we talk about as a mobile wallet today, or an AI-based wallet in the future, a super wallet, will be much more important to us day to day than what we think of as our bank account today. The key element here is understanding that as an individual, having ownership of your data requires this type of infrastructure. It requires for you to have centralized control over who gets access to your data and so forth. And the more that is fragmented, the harder it is for you to control who accesses your data and who monetizes your data. This is the big problem with Facebook today, is like they have all this data on us and they're using it to create value for the corporation, but not for us as individuals. This balance will have to change in the world of AI. We're seeing this conversation right now about generative AI, whether they're paying the creators of artworks and written works and so forth as they put this into these large language models. Are the artists that contribute to the data learning, getting recognized financially? The last 10 years or so, we've had a big focus in Europe in particular on GDPR and data protection. But actually, the big future is about data ownership and monetizing your data. And you can't do that without that centralized artifact, sort of that super wallet approach. When we apply artificial intelligence into our marketplace and commerce and so forth, we have to understand a couple of things. These functions of the automated economy in the future. So one of the concepts we came up with in DeFi or in the Web3 blockchain world was a concept called the DAO, right? A distributed or decentralized autonomous organization. But many companies, many functions of our economy in the future will be highly autonomous. So in that space, when we have that highly autonomous function, you can't use the existing banking system. You can't use US dollars. You can't use euros. You need programmable money. You need digital money. You need the blockchain. You need these elements. You can't run a smart contract on an existing bank core system today. So when we start talking about AI-based business in the future, this is where you need things like digital currencies. You need smart contracts and so forth that's been built on the tech layer. And here's the thing, is right now we hear Donald Trump running for president in the US. He says he's going to ban CBDCs. Well, if he did that, the US economy is going to fail, because at a core part of the US economy is the need for digital money to power smart contracts. You can have CBDCs, or you can have cryptocurrencies or stable coins or tokens, but you can't use fiat currency for smart contracts.